Hi, Adya.
Hi.
Hi. My question relates to what you were speaking about earlier when you find that you are relating from the somebodyness, that the breakdown has happened, that you're not relating from that your truest sense, that ground of being.
Yeah.
And the humility happens where and this happened to me today many, many, many times. So I can see sometimes immediately as I'm relating from that place, it's conditioning, it's my somebody.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I can see it very, very clearly afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'm very much, this is what I'm interested in these days, is seeing this more and more and seeing through it. What my question is, what do you do with it when you do see what? Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to give you what I think is the most fundamental. It's not the final answer necessarily for everybody, but it's really fundamental to working with this, I think, at all. And which is, the first thing is, when you notice when you start to relate from your me-ness, from separation, right?
Yeah.
And you might notice it right in the middle of the moment of relationship. You might notice it an hour later or a day later or whatever. Whenever you notice it, when you see it, you just stop. You just stop. If you notice it at the moment of relating, even if it gets kind of heated, you just stop and you acknowledge it to yourself. And often it's a good idea to acknowledge it to whoever you're with too. This stopping, and then the willingness to be really open. I'm relating from a place that doesn't feel true to me, where I feel defended. And when I feel this way, I can feel myself cutting you off and cutting off from you. And that's not what I want to be doing. That's not what's really true for me. And at that moment, that's what when I use the words like humility, that's what I mean. It's not some like spiritualized ideal of humility. It's like in the moment, can I see it? Can I share what I'm experiencing? Even if it's humbling, can I share it? Because then it's out in the open, right? Then I can make a different decision. Immediately I have a different option when I share not only what's happening, but when I share that this is not what I want. This is not what I really want to say. This is not really what I want to communicate. Then at that moment you have that instant to go, what do I really, really want to say? What's really true here for me? And that's a revealing, intimate moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to share that is, I think, for most people, is revolutionary in relationship. To share that, to have that much transparency. And yet, I think it's very, very, very important, because then we're including each other in our heart, in what we want, and we're also including them in our admitting of our imperfection. Because I always say, if any of us ever thinks we are so spiritually clear that we'll never have to say, I'm sorry, then we probably already have a whole host of people we need to say I'm sorry to.
Yes.
If we ever get to that point where we think we'll never have to, that's the humility. I think the sharing of that can be really quite empowering, actually. Maybe frightening, but because we're so taught through a sort of model that says we have to sort of therapize all of our moments of confusion. And don't misunderstand me. I think that for many people, therapy can do wonders. But I also think that there's moments, like you're talking about, when what's more important than figuring it all out and therapizing it and trying to solve it all within ourselves. Why do I do that? Why did I do that? Which is in the moment. We just stop, acknowledge it, voice it if it seems like it's safe to voice it, because sometimes it will be and sometimes you'll feel like it's not. But whether you voice it or not, then you stop, you see it, you acknowledge it, and then you look at, what do I really, really want to be saying? And you see there's no long process with that. That's just going immediately to what's really, really true for you, what you really want to convey. You know?
Yes.
I mean, I think so often that the first thing that happens, when a moment of relationship starts to feel like it's going off the rails,
yes.
What happens is, and I feel in you, you can tell me if I'm wrong with this, but I just can intuitively feel that you can probably feel relatively quickly energetically when you disconnect from somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, it's painful, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
And so when that moment of disconnect happens, and when you get really sensitive, you can actually feel the word in a sentence. Oh. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's painful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's like poison.
That's right. It is. It's like ingesting, and of course, the more conscious you get, the more acute that becomes.